are now listening to Random Ramblings with Rob. Yay! Yeah! Yeah!
B to the R, O to the B, coming at you with the funny random rambling, talking about all the things that'll make that rain day sunny. Yeah, it's hot and popping, fireball dropping, come get your laugh on. Yeah, that's the concept, you know he be rocking, robbing the facts and all of the gossip. It don't matter where you are or who you with, you gotta tune right in. Bring your girl into your girl to bring your friends, be Robbie lit. Tune in your crib, in your whip, at your job. He got new shows every Sunday.
Here we go.
What up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a new listener, I very so much appreciate you for giving my show a try. And if you're in the vicinity of the person that may have recommended you to me, if somebody did recommend you to me, give them a nice, crisp high five if you're in their vicinity. If not, you just send them a text message via Snapchat, Instagram, or whatever form of social media that you use, and let them know that, hey, Rob told me to give you a high five. Boom. That's how it works. I have a guest, and the Random Ramblers with Rob is just that. It's a freaking, I don't know what to call it. It's just like a random collection of things, you know, just the way I talk, you know, the things that I project from my mind through my lips that comes through this microphone and it hits your earbuds or wherever you're listening to me at. And I think from a guest standpoint, it's pretty much the same thing. I've had anywhere from adult film stars to musical guests to professional wrestlers to actors, unemployed motherfuckers, just a array of people from all around the world. And I don't think I have ever had a guest of this caliber so far. My guest with me here on this episode is a man that boggles my mind with the feats that he can do with his body. And once again, I'm not speaking of adult film stars, so don't get that out your head. So it's nothing like that. But my guest with me for this edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast is Dominique Lewis. How are you, sir?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm hanging in there. It was a little bit hectic today at work. Now I got off, and for some reason, I don't know how it happened, but my key just decided to separate itself from my key ring, and I couldn't find it. I don't know what the fuck happened. I came in the house, put my key ring, because I got a whole mess of keys on my keychain. So I put my key ring up on the little hook by the door, and I looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute. The goddamn van key is not on the keychain. So I'm looking around. I'm in the van. I'm in the garage. I don't know why I looked in the garage, because I didn't park in the garage to begin with, but I don't know how I would have got in there. So I looked anyway. I retraced my steps. I went under the van. I went around the other car, and it was in the grass just chilling like, hey, here I am. But,
man.
But
it happens sometimes, though.
Yeah. I just prefer that it doesn't.
Yeah, don't we all?
But reason that I asked you to be on my show is because many years back, you know, I love to watch movies and everything, and many years back I found a film called B13, or it was District 13, or there's many, because I think it's a French film, and so it's probably in many different languages or different titles. Mm-hmm. And I was introduced to the world of parkour, free running, or whatever other thing, you know, variation that they call it. And yeah, it just freaking blew my mind, the feats that, you know, people can do, you know, just, you know, where they scaling buildings and, you know, doing all these flips and all kind of stuff like that. And ever since I saw that movie, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and I just seen all these different people just posting videos of them tricking is what they call it. You know, not for some change or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure you get compensated for your skills. But it was just it blew my mind the feats that you and other people that I've seen could do, and coming over to doing a podcast and trying to find people that spark my interest. You were one of them, because I come across your page here on Instagram, and you can follow him too at, what is that, Dominique? So
Yeah, Dominique.
Yeah, I don't want to disgrace your name. I'm glad you pronounced it correctly for me. I'm sorry. And I seen the very first video I seen of you. You were on the ground in a seated position, legs straight out, and you just went from a seated position up in the air on your feet, and then there was many back handsprings to follow with some twists and some other crazy shit. And I don't know how you did it, but you did it. And I was like, wow. And then once again, hit your page, and I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm just seeing you cutting flips in front of the Eiffel Tower, goddamn Italy, Rome, and all kind of other crazy places and whatnot. And I just knew that I had to talk to you. That's basically what it boiled down to. I just like, I need to hear words from your mouth to how the hell you do stuff like this.
I got you. I can let you know anything you want.
So where did it begin for you? Because like when I see people with an extraordinary talent like this, and believe me, this shit is crazy if you haven't seen it. How did you figure out that you had this talent, that you had this in you, that you could do stuff like this?
It all started really, really young. It started with me. I was about 4 years old, and my next door neighbor, I saw him do a backflip. And I'm like, well, I can do that, you know, why not try? Well, of course I could not do that. But I tried anyway, hurt myself pretty bad. But I was always one of those fearless kids where like at a moment like that, where like you hurt yourself doing something, either you're going to be determined to try again and actually get it, or it's going to scare you forever. And so I was like, you know what, I think I can do it. So I tried again, like a couple months later, and it started to become more of a habit of me, like trying. And then finally, once I got it, I kind of just fell in love with flipping in general. And so all this stuff I know is completely self-taught. A lot of people think I was maybe a formal gymnast or a competitive tumbler or something, but it was all completely self-taught from a young age in grass and concrete. And then when I was 16 was my first time stepping foot in an actual gym, like a gymnastics gym. Yeah. And when I went in there for an open gym, I started like messing around on the spring floors in there, and I'm like, holy shit, like I can fly. This is crazy. And and so it all started right there. And then like I don't know, I just started to adapt to my own style more and more, and focus on the power and speed behind the skills that I'm doing, and just trying to kind of set myself apart from everyone else who's doing it.
Yeah, you answered one of the next questions I was going to ask you, if you had any formal training, and you didn't come into that until your later years, as you just explained. So from the time that you taught yourself to do all the things that you would learn to do, what really changed for you when you actually went into, you know, the realm of gymnastics? Like, what do you feel that brought to your already honed skill set?
What helped a lot, because even when I went into the gym, I was only there for open gyms where like anyone's allowed to come. You just pay and you get to flip around or jump around in the gym. And my local gym owner in Port Huron, Michigan, I'm actually here right now visiting family, but the local gym owner there was like, you know, you're pretty good at tumbling. Like, how long have you been, where do you train? How long have you been doing this? I'm like, well, I'm actually completely self-taught. And then from there, she would kind of give me some guidance in kind of how to do stuff. She never really told me like, this is how it has to be done, but she kind of be like, you know, maybe you should try, you know, if you tightened up your legs this way, or like if you pulled your arms to this part of your body when you're doing this, it might help you. So she started to give me a little bit of guidance. And then from there, I actually started coaching gymnastics, and I started with like very basic, like elementary classes, and then basic tumbling classes, and kind of worked my way up to coaching through team and stuff. But once I started coaching it is when I really started to notice a difference in my own skill, because as I'm teaching other people how to do it completely properly, whereas I'm just, you know, I taught myself, so the technique wasn't always the best. Yeah. It kind of helped me adapt and change my style a little bit to know, like, some more proper techniques and how to do things in a more efficient way to help out with the tumbling as well. So the coaching part helped me out a lot.
Yeah. And I can understand that because I used to teach as well. Not nothing like how you do, but I taught when I was in the military. I'm transportation. That's my field. Well, it was my field when I was in. And I went back to the schoolhouse to train, entry-level Marines in the same field that I've been doing at that point for like 14 years. So I knew how to do it my way. But when it came to me actually teaching a curriculum, I had to learn it the proper way as well, and then kind of blend of what I, real world experience to the classroom environment and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what you're talking about, because it's like, how to do what you do because you do it. But,
Exactly.
You're trying to give that knowledge of what you know to somebody else the way you did it. It may not work for everybody else. So it's also good to know it the proper way as well.
Exactly.
So
that's something that I've always thought of, like coaching. Everyone can learn everyone learns at their own pace and learns different ways. So like certain techniques might work for someone better than someone else. And yeah, it definitely helped me out a lot. And it helps me when I'm coaching to know and understand that, being self-taught, that when I'm teaching someone else, maybe this way isn't going to work for them because that's not the way I learned how to do it. Or maybe this way will work better for them because I taught myself how to do it. And it might not be the traditional way, but it might work better, and kind of intermingles a little bit, and kind of it helps you learn yourself as you're teaching someone else.
Yeah. Before you went into it, kind of professionally or whatever, did you have any other paths that piqued your interest or whatever besides, the tumbling and everything like that? Like maybe even martial arts or sports or anything like that?
I dabbled in martial arts as a kid, a bit, and I always liked it, but I wouldn't say I lost passion for it, but I just kind of, and I don't know, it's weird because I don't normally quit anything, but I kind of quit doing like the competitive aspect of it pretty young.
Yeah.
And then like from there, I ran track. I was never really into conventional sports like football and basketball. I'm really bad at basketball. Really bad. I always liked it, but I was always so terrible at it. So I ended up going to college, and I got a degree and everything. I went to a private business school called Northwood University and got an international business administration degree. And then that's when I was 18, already in college. That's when I decided I wanted to actually start training harder to get better. So like I said, when I first went to the gym, I was 16, and that was just for open gyms and stuff. And then graduated high school, went off to college at 17, pretty young. And then when I was 18, already in college, that's when I'm like, you know what? I want to take my training a little bit more. Like, I want to be a little more serious about it. So I started training more with no intention of it going this way, like this far as a career path and stuff. But I'm very happy about it. But yeah, so I went to school for international business, and the goal was, my end goal has always been, and it still is, to maybe someday open my own gym. Like a tumbling gym and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to be tied to what I'm doing, I guess, like flipping, tumbling, and like tricking and all that stuff. But I didn't see myself being more on the professional athlete side. I saw myself just maybe opening my own facility and just providing that for people who want to do tumbling and cheer and tricking and parkour, free running, all that stuff.
Sweet. As far as, because it's professional, because you generate some cash from doing what you do or whatever, but like, to me, looking at it, I do consider it an art form, but it was like almost weird in a way that is like, you can get paid to go around the world and just do, these amazing feats of, of skill and everything. And whenever the idea was first presented to you to, like, I guess whoever you work for, or your first opportunity to get paid to do what you do, how did that hit you? It was like, wait a minute, you want to pay me to come cut flips around this motherfucker? That's what you're telling me right now?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So, it all stemmed from I mean, tricking, it originally was called martial arts tricking, but
Yeah.
but tricking, it's an up and coming sport. It's growing very quickly. And it started about 15, 20 years ago. And now a lot of trickers are in like stunts and stuff. So all the Marvel movies you see are like a lot of friends of mine are doing all those stunts, and those are normally trickers. And so tricking it's a growing thing, and the events that trickers hold are called gatherings. And these gatherings are all throughout the world, and there are obviously some that are bigger than others, some that are way more well known than others. And it all started when I started being asked to be a special guest at these different tricking gatherings around the world, where they would fly me there to just kind of be a presence and flip around, show off my skill, and interact with all the people there. And when that all started probably about end of 2014, and then going into 2015 is when it started happening a lot, where I was being asked to go to like all events throughout all corners of the world. And then I was approached eventually by Red Bull to come and start judging some stuff for them. And so Red Bull Kick It is an event that's held in Seoul, South Korea every year. And so they asked me to start coming and being an acrobatic judge for the event. And, things like when that happens, it all starts to kind of snowball. People see that like I'm going to all these events and doing stuff with Red Bull. And then it just kind of all keeps like snowballing, where everyone's like, wow, he's really going around. So like, maybe I want him at my event. Yeah. And it all happened so fast though too. And again, it happened with that video you saw, or one of the two, because like there was the first one that I did of me sitting down, that sitting back handspring that went crazy viral in my home gym here in Port Huron. And then another one that went crazy viral just last year in the beginning of the year. And then when that one went, now it would be 2 years ago technically, because it was back in 2017. But that one went crazy viral. And between those two videos alone, it's pushing about 1 billion views across like all social media platforms between just the two videos. Yeah. And so like that was like a huge thing, is where like, I don't know, it's just crazy how your life can change overnight from like a simple video, and then people realizing and seeing like unique skill and then wanting you to be a part of things.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 26. I just turned 26 end of September.
Okay. All right. I was scrolling through your account earlier today, in anticipation of getting you on here and picking your brain and whatnot. It's a physically demanding thing that you do. And tell me about some of the injuries that you came across doing, all this stuff that you do.
Yeah. I've actually been pretty lucky in saying that, knock on wood.
I'm doing it for you right now.
Yeah, I've been relatively injury free for the most part for the crazy stuff that I do, but I have had a couple bad ones. The first pretty bad one, I shattered my ankle back in like 2012, and they had to put screws in. And then from there, like that one just kind of kept, that one kept bugging me for a while, and then I ended up re-breaking it at one point. At a nightclub in Amsterdam, of all places. I got into a tricking battle, actually. The biggest tricking event in the world is held in Amsterdam. And it was like an after party, and we were all out at a club, and we got into a trick battle, and I kicked the table and broke my ankle a second time.
Sweet.
But so I've broken the ankle twice, and then obviously the annoying ankle sprains. But the main ones, like I've broken my sternum twice as well, which that one was that one sucks. That one is really uncomfortable.
I can imagine, because it's kind of hard breathing and everything, and I don't
exactly. And you can't. You have to sleep certain ways. You have to sleep on your back. You can't sleep on your sides really, and then there's absolutely no sleeping on your stomach for a while. But yes, I mean the sternum was a doozy, and the first one happened. I was just being stupid, and I had just gotten the screws in my ankle. I was in the boot still, and at a tricking gathering again, and I was flipping on the trampoline and under-rotated a flip and kind of suitcased or necked or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And so that's the first time I broke it. And then the second time, this is a quick note for all you out there who want to start flipping or already do. Don't do it after you've been drinking quite a bit. I like to drink a little bit. Like me and my teammates will have some fun, and we'll drink, and we'll just mess around and do a little bit of stuff. But sometimes, you can go a little overboard and try stuff you have no business trying. And yeah, I tried a standing double front flip on the floor, and I can't even do one running really that well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried a standing double front flip on the floor and chipped a tooth and broke my sternum the second time. So that's like that's like the extent of my main injuries right there. But they all could have been avoided. 2 of those involved alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those involved me just being stupid, not having any business being on the trampoline with the screws in my ankle. The only one that was really not my fault, I guess, would have been the first one, the one where I had the screws put in.
Okay. Yeah, that you talking about breaking your ankle and everything, it leads me to flashed in my mind is another guy that I follow here on Instagram is I think is a JB Ninja Boy or something like that. And I seen some footage of him doing his stuff, and he had a clip in there to where he did a transition from, I think, one part of a walkway over an opening to another end of a walkway, and he broke his foot. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
through the whole time that he had the cast and the boot and everything on his foot, he still was posting videos of him on the trampoline and doing other stuff on one foot. And I thought that was freaking amazing. And I was like, and also stupid, but still.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually one of my more signature skills aside from like the sitting back handspring. I'm like known for, there's a move called a gainer switch where you repeatedly do a backflip off one leg while swinging the other leg. So I'm going off of my right leg and swinging my left leg. And I had the world record at one point with doing 18 of them in a row. And I mean, it's been shattered since then. But the way I got good at those was because my left leg was the one that I had damaged, my left ankle. And so if I wanted to train, I could only use my right leg. I'm like, well, what could I work on? What can I train? So I'm like, shit, I'll just try swing throughs and just only use my right leg. And so it also helped that I had that big old boot on my left leg, because that added a little bit of extra weight. So I was sitting there just practicing the swings, and then like that became one of my like strong suits in my tricking and tumbling style. Is like my swing throughs became like dominant, because at one point I couldn't even use my left leg. So that's what I had to do. Sometimes you just have to adapt, and if you do still want to train and make sure you don't further injure that same area, then you got to kind of adapt and figure out what you can do safely, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like, that's the, God damn it, I'm going to do this shit anyway.
Exactly. Like, you're not going to stop me.
List off some of the places that you've been, since you taken on this profession.
Oh boy. So I've now been to 23 countries since, some of my favorites, I guess, instead of listing up all 23 off the top of my head, but Israel, I've been to a few times, and I love it there. I have a lot of very close friends there now. Korea a few times. Japan's amazing. France, Switzerland, Italy. Been to Sweden a couple times now, and Denmark. Iceland is another one of my all-time favorite places to go. Yes, that's just a few right there where it's like, it's just nuts. Like, and just right now, I'm leaving for California. I'm leaving for Lake Tahoe tomorrow. And then from there, I'm going down to New Orleans. And then from there, I'm going to New Zealand. And and I just got back from a trip. When you said you saw me doing some flips in front of the Eiffel Tower, I was just in France and Amsterdam. So I was in France and the Netherlands, and now I'm about to be heading on over to New Zealand. And so one of my like big taglines, and people always see it on my Instagram and Snapchat, and like I have wristbands that say it, but I always say like another day, another plane, because I travel at least once a week usually.
Man.
Somewhere different. Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. I need to go start rolling around in my front yard.
Right. You never know. I mean, hey, it might go viral, and then you might end up on Ellen or something,
Nah, I'm too old for that. The most flips I've ever done was encased inside a wrestling ring, and those didn't feel good because I was falling on my back and shit. So.
Oh yeah.
But some of the guys that you train and everything, and you working with, how many of them do you see like real promising and real potential in?
Well, on the it depends on which aspect, because I'm involved with like gymnastics and then tricking, and then I'm also very heavily involved in G Tramp, which stands for garden tramp. So it's like backyard trampoline, which is actually it's a bit bigger than tricking now. It's blown up social media wise. But like in each aspect, I mean, with gymnastics, I do work alongside some Olympic team members, doing like coaching and stuff, sometimes at a summer camp that I normally do. And so that's like coaching and training alongside, coaching with and training alongside a lot of different like Olympians and stuff, both men and women. So, I mean, obviously they've got it figured out. And then in the tricking side, there are some really, really crazy people. Like Michael Guthrie is the best tricker ever to live, and that's like a hands down known thing. And he's also a very, very close friend of mine, just a farm boy from Kansas, and just happens to be the best ever. And then there are some new up-and-comers in the new generation of tricking. There's a trio from Japan who are all 14 years old, Jin, Zen, and then the main one's name is Shosei. And Shosei is pretty undoubtedly the best tricker in the world right now. Like I said, Mike is like the greatest ever, but Shosei, who's 14 years old, is doing stuff and pushing boundaries of the sport that are, in all honesty, just like somewhere that he's taken it places that none of us ever thought it could even go. And he's doing some of the most incredible things that no one really has thought possible. And it's all like, we've all noticed and found him just within like the last year or two. And he's just like one of those people where he's a prodigy. He's like, he's just unstoppable. And he just won the event that was just at in Amsterdam. That is the biggest tricking event in the world. And that's another thing I do at these events is I judge, most of them. If there's a competition aspect, I'm normally one of the judges. And, so I had to judge like all the top trickers in the world in one room going at it back and forth, and like in a bracket style. And Shosei won out of like everyone there. And it's crazy because he's 14 years old, and it's just incredible to see some of these kids that are just so talented and still aren't even like grown, like they haven't grown much. They don't even have any muscle tone or like anything to like, I don't, it's just crazy. It's crazy to see. It's like, what's going to happen when they're 16, 17, 18, and they're actually like strong. And like, so they already obviously have the flawless technique to help them get through everything. So what happens when they get like really strong? And it's crazy and almost scary to think about like where that's going.
Yeah. Your style. From all the people that I follow, I mean, you brought up some other names that I wasn't privy to before, because I mean, I just kind of go through. I see your name, and I look at your video, then I see who like it, then I go look at their shit, and then I say, oh, he do some good cool shit too. That's kind of how I find people. And
no wrong with that.
But all the people that I follow on social media, all the people that I've seen, your style is like, to me, it's like aggressive. It's just like, as soon as you start, it's just like pow. It's just like hard. It's like rough, and I'm just like, how? I mean, I'm always saying that how to any of them because I can't do none of that shit. But like, when it comes to honing your style and, making what you do unique to you, because I mean, there's a lot of people that can do what you do, but they don't do it like you do it. What comes with that process of trying to kind of figure out, what you can do and kind of trying to make it unique to yourself?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is that I'm not a small person. Like I'm short, but I'm not small.
There you go. I was going to ask you about that because like that was the main thing of why I wanted to, kind of connect with you, because like I look at you and then I look at everybody else that I follow and some of the names. I just looked up the Michael Guthrie guy just now. I look at all these different people and even some of the professional, like the actors and everything. Your build is not that. So that's what also
not at all.
Yeah, that's what also makes your style unique as well. Just like if I didn't know you had that in you, like if I just walked up on you on the street and everything, and then all of a sudden you just start doing some flips and shit, I'd be like, my mind would have been blown more than what has already been blown up. I would probably blown my mind. The wind would have took it away, and I don't know, Street Sweeper would have kind of swept it up and spun it out into the then the it clown would have took it down into the drain. I'm just,
Yeah.
it's my shit would have been all over the place pretty much.
Yeah.
But,
That's funny, but yeah, like I'm 5'6" and I weigh 200 pounds. I mean, most of it's muscle, but I mean, obviously I'm a little bit on the heavier side. Some of that comes from me liking to party a bit, I like to drink and stuff. But yeah, like that's always been, I guess, more the unique aspect of my training, I guess, is that like, you got to work with what you got. And I mean, I could lose a little bit of weight if I really wanted to, but I don't know. I find like I'm at a healthy weight, and it helps me with the explosive power. 'Cause that's something I've always had. Like when I ran track and stuff, I was always a sprinter and a hurdler, and I was always very fast. I don't have the stamina so much to do anything like super long, and that's why you'll see some people doing these marathon combos in tricking where they're just going for like 45 seconds straight, and I'm going for like 10 seconds, and it's fast, crazy, explosive, do some crazy shit, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done for 10 minutes. Hold on, I need my inhaler. Like, I'll be right back. And so I mean, I've always had to just hone in on that aspect, is focusing on the fact that like I have the explosive muscle. Why not use that to my advantage? And definitely helps again with like the weight. And then maybe in short, like the center of gravity is like perfect for the flipping that I'm doing. I don't know. I guess like genetically, like I won the genetic lottery when it comes to the sport, I guess. Like, I'm built pretty well for it, pretty uniquely, but pretty well for it. And, that has helped a lot in my training. And then just like, again, honing in on what I'm good at and how I can set myself apart from all the other trickers and tumblers and stuff out there who are also very, very talented, but I guess, like you said, it's just, I don't look the same.
Yeah.
And, that definitely plays a key in some of the, I guess, social media, success and stuff like that, is like, it draws the eye when people are like, wow, that's a big boy. And he's out there doing some big boy stuff. Yeah.
And one of the words that you use in describing your style is explosive. And, as soon as you said that, I kind of, that hooked me or whatever, because it is. And the way you talk about the chaining of the combos and whatnot, it's like I've seen people just like keep going and going and going and just, pulling out combo after combo and everything. You do the same thing, but really fast. So, yeah. Because like that dude can do like a 10 chain combo, and you can do the same 10 chain combo in like half the time. So I was just like, that is fucking crazy. And it's just like the freaking, because I when I was going through the videos, because there's a couple setups to where you in the seated position or whatever, and I was like, all right, you just gonna show them how to do it, and then it'll just be like boom, and there's like 30 other flips after that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And a lot of it is like just kind of thinking of it as I go. I mean, obviously there are like certain combos that I want and stuff, but a lot of like, I know I know I can speak for other trickers and tumblers and stuff, like freestyle tumblers and trickers. When I say this, is that like a lot of it is just, you feel it out. So it's kind of like it hits you as you're going. So it kind of just pops in your head and you do it as you're going. So it's crazy how comfortable we can get with our own bodies and our own skill sets to be able to create these combinations, like these crazy chains of acrobatic craziness. And it's literally half the time, or majority of the time, it's on the fly. It's like, as we're going, you're just kind of doing it. And it's pretty cool. It's cool to see how crazy and how well we can train our minds and like our body to muscle memory, to where we can like kind of just throw all this crazy stuff in together on a whim.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of momentum based in the chains or whatever. Because I can kind of see where the next move is going to come in when I watch it. Because I mean, I know damn well I couldn't do it, but like when I watch a lot of these videos or whatever, you can kind of see what the next move is depending on the angle of the flip and the speed of it and whatnot. So you can kind of dictate to where it goes. I was watching one of your videos earlier today. I guess you had, like how you saying, you had a combo, etched out in your mind, and like 3 or 4 flips into it, you was like, fuck. And you just like stopped and did some other shit.
Yep. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, and like so that's another one. It's like sometimes you have to adapt really quick in order to not get injured as well. So it's like if you feel like something's about to go wrong, either you have to completely stop or you can just you might have a combo planned in your head and then it goes sour halfway through, and then all of a sudden you gotta do something because you can't just stop. Like let's say you're midair and you're like, oh shit, I'm not high enough to do the skill I'm trying to do. So if I just let myself go right now, I'm gonna hurt myself. But if I try to do the same skill that I'm trying to do, I might hurt myself. So now I gotta hurry up and do a different skill. And it's like all that has to happen within a fraction of a second in your brain to like.
And see, I mean,
it gets pretty crazy.
And you even explaining that to me just now, it's just like, now I understand why you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And then like the two guys that you just told me about, the Michael Guthrie and what was the other guy?
Show.
Yeah, I looked up one and I followed one, and then automatically the other one popped up. So I mean,
yep, yeah, Shosei Wamoto. I mean, I could give you a whole list of all the top guys, but like, yeah, those two really stick out. And then like one of my close friends, Bailey Payne, he's a really well-known tricker out there. He's a Red Bull athlete, actually. He's Red Bull's only tricking athlete. And he's also, and like, we have a house together out in California and stuff, with our sponsored group, Gravitated Equations. And, yeah, there's like there are just quite a few who really stand out and stick out in the bunch. And, those are the ones who are at every event like I am and like traveling around, and they're normally on the competition side or the coaching side, and I'm normally on like the coaching / judging side. Never been too competitive, so I've always been more on like the judging side, and a lot of that comes from coaching gymnastics for so long and then like understanding body movement so well. It's like I know decently well what I'm looking for and what I'm looking at when I'm watching all this crazy stuff go down, and that's why I've kind of been chosen as like a main judge in the tricking realm and the trampoline realm.
Yeah. What is a normal day like for you? You know, just like, you know, just setting up classes and training and traveling. I mean, what is just like a typical day for you like? Oh,
goodness. Well, I mean, I have my awesome manager, Samantha, who has given me a list of tasks that I need to do throughout the day. So, I mean, it could be anything from, I mean, it ranges. It changes day by day. 'Cause there are some days where it's like, sweet, I get to go and have a tricking session. So I'll try to like rest a little bit and just chill and then go to my session, might have stuff planned out to do, during that session. And then there are some days where it's like, I have to do some stuff for certain brand deals, or I have to make sure I post these things on my story at these times. And then I need to figure out where to go for like this location to do like a tag for this company or this company. And that's like more on the brand deal, social media side. And then a lot of it is, doing collaborations with people. So like traveling around and wherever I am at a clinic or seminar that I'm hosting or a meetup that I'm doing, it's like I gotta kind of collaborate with other influencers, or I have to try to draw people to these events that I'm doing. And so like, every day it is something new, because I do a lot of different events because of the fact that I'm involved in tricking and tumbling and trampoline so heavily. It's like it keeps me super busy day by day, to where I'm doing stuff for Instagram, for YouTube, for multiple companies, and then the collaboration aspect with other influencers, and then trying to do my own thing where I'm trying to do like meet and greets and meetups and stuff. And I'll go to like trampoline parks and meet up with a bunch of kids and have fun and throw down with them, and then setting up my own private lessons and clinics and seminars that I do when I'm traveling. It's a lot. It's pretty hectic. I don't find much time to legitimately rest. It's very rare that I get to kind of have just a rest day.
And then now that rolls right into my next question. Whenever you do have a moment of time away from all that or whatever, I mean, what's something that you like to get into?
Like nowadays, because I mean, and you know this, I'm getting a little bit older, you know? And it's been a lot of wear and tear on my body. So like now, what I try to do when I have a rest day or two is I really just try to chill as much as I can. So I'll just hang out at the house, watch Criminal Minds, you know, like just just lounge around. And then when I do have rest days, what I try to do mostly is if I can go home and see my family. Cause I'm from Michigan, Detroit area, so I'm a little bit north of Detroit. And so whenever I can get home or just sit and just chill and like take a breath, unfortunately I never get to actually just turn my phone off. Like that'd be nice to just have a day where I can just turn my phone off and not talk to anyone. That I don't ever get to do that because my phone is kind of my job in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's really, really just me trying my best to just chill out and like not do something physical. Cause I'm always ripping and running. I'm always getting on a plane to go somewhere. And then right when I get there, it's like, you have to be at the gym or you have to be at this place at this time. Like right when you get off the plane, it gets exhausting, but I mean, I absolutely love it. Like I wouldn't trade it for the world, but yeah, it has its perks and then it has its downfalls, and the nonstop is the downfall part, I guess. It's not much rest, but yeah. So I mean, I'm sorry going off on the tangent, but going off on the rambles, but yes, I mean, like it's just trying my best to not do something physical on the days where I can rest, I guess.
Is it safe to say that you like action films?
Absolutely.
Like what type of action films do you like? Is it martial arts or is it like the Expendables type shit where it's just like guns and bullets and bombs and all kind of crazy shit?
I like all of it. Like horror is probably my favorite genre, and then it goes action, and like I love all action. Like one that I recently watched that's like super dope is The Equalizer. I love watching Denzel, like Equalizer 2. Yeah, Denzel going in and effing some people up. Like I like that kind of action, and then yeah, like you said, The Expendables. Fucking dope. Expendables is crazy. Like, and then old style martial arts movies like Jet Li and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Like, I like it all.
Have you seen The Raid?
I have not, but I already feel like now I got to watch it.
Oh boy, you need to watch. It's called The Raid: Redemption, and then there's The Raid 2. So you need to look both of those up. Whenever you like, maybe you can do it in between flips. You can probably pull it up on your phone, and while you're doing a half gainer twist, you can just probably pull up the film and check it out. Because I mean, I know you're a busy man and everything, so whenever you can get that in there. But that's my two recommendations for you at this juncture, sir. Okay. So I highly recommend you get on that.
All right, The Raid. Okay, I got you. You know what? I mean, I can download it and then watch it on the plane.
Yeah, because you're a jet flying, limousine riding.
Yeah.
Now, how big? I mean, because you're talking about your phone and everything, and doing everything with all these different influencers and whatnot. How important is social media to what you do?
I would say it's on the more important side. It's definitely a huge part of what I do. And it's not because of the fact that like, I need, or like, cause I've always been one where I'm like, I don't really care the amount of like, I don't care how many followers I have. Whereas a lot of people I know are on that side, but it does help. So, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Cause I think social media has like, its crazy, like super cool aspects. Like my life wouldn't be where it is right now without it because of viral videos and then like, all that stuff. But then at the same time, I see how much harm is done on social media and just, I mean, even to me, I mean, people are normally very kind, but people, I mean, always you get the keyboard warriors who will say some pretty crazy, messed up, mean things.
Yeah.
And it's like, so, I mean, it has its ups and downs, but I definitely see more of the good in it. It helps me have a platform to help inspire people, especially like we've talked about, like I'm a little bit bigger. So inspiring bigger people to show them like you can move your body and you can do some crazy stuff if you really want to. It's going to be hard work, of course, but if I can do it, why can't you? And everyone's like you can't just pull if I can do it, so can you. I mean, I can, because if I've done it, there's no reason you can't, unless there's like obviously a physical like disability or something. Like there's no reason you can't do it. And so I've always thought of it that way, is that to use social media as a platform to inspire. And so, I mean, I love that aspect, and that has helped my brand as like Domitrick. My name is Dominique Lewis, but yeah, I go by Domitrick. And it's grown. It's helped my brand grow a ton, which has helped me again with like all the different jobs I have, like traveling around and doing meet and greets or meetups, and then doing like business consulting for trampoline parks, and working with all these crazy talented athletes and helping shape and mold the whole new generation of trickers and tumblers and trampoline kids. And so that all is like gotten me to where I am with work as like a judge for all these events and as like a special guest and a host of all these events. And but it, again, more so I find it more important to like just my life in general, that I'm helping inspire people, and social media is what gives me that platform to do that. Because I mean, other than, like, if there was no Instagram or YouTube or even sometimes like Facebook, I mean, I just don't know how I would be able to reach the amount of people I have and been able to help the amount of people I have if I didn't have those things.
Yeah. Tell me about the Grav Dad.
Yeah, the Grav Dad. Oh, yes. So Gravitated Equations is my main sponsor, and it started off as a clothing company by two trampoline parkour free running kids, Solomon Berg and Andrew Friedman, and they started in their basement in California. And Andrew Friedman's dad is the Grav Dad, and so he let them start this like little thing down in his basement, and that house became known as the Grav House. And the Gravitated Equation started off as like an Instagram page with just like skits and funny, like it's just always like funny stuff of like the Grav kids, and then like me and other people involved with the Grav kids and other like trampoline kids and trickers and free runners who are all like just, you know, funny people doing funny stuff and like intentionally messing up or like just messing around with each other. And then it just grew and grew and grew to where people were like, you need to make a clothing brand and blah, blah, blah. Like we'd buy some merch. So then the two kids started making this merch in their basement, like by hand, like getting the material and then pressing it on by hand and making the orders like as they come. And then it just grew so big with the crazy influx and like growth of the trampoline and tricking community, to where like Mike Friedman and then Solomon's dad, Eli, had to like turn it into a legitimate business. And now they have like a fulfillment center where and like a warehouse and a whole corporate team. And they send us, me and the other Gravitated Equations athletes, Bailey Payne, Jack Payne, and Ziza Rumba. They send us to like other countries. And so they were the ones who just sent me to Paris and then to Amsterdam, where I judged Hooked. And then they took us on a trip to Hawaii recently. So they're super, super cool, supportive parents of like what their kids are doing. And then they support their kids' friends in, I guess, like sponsoring us and giving us an opportunity to just travel and have some fun sometimes. That's what the Grav Dad, Mike, is. He's just the most hilarious, funniest guy. And yeah, I don't know if you've seen his Instagram now, but yeah, like he just does really funny skits. He's a funny guy, and he just loves life and loves to have fun and be involved in the tumbling and the tricking and the trampoline community. And it's really cool watching him like just be a nuts old man, like loving life with all these kids.
What's another one on here that I've seen? Tweezy. What about that guy?
Oh boy, what a riot. Oh, Tweezy. So he, I met him through all this crazy stuff, like flipping around and stuff. And he's more on the Instagram comedian side. Yeah. And he's like gotten into some flipping and stuff. But yeah, he's just been like gotten a little bit involved with me and the other Grav people. More so like he was introduced to me through some of the other Grav guys. And it's just he's so funny. So I mean, that's what he's known for. He's more on the comedian side, and he's just a good energy to be around. Like always cracking jokes. He gets in roast battles and will roast anybody. Doesn't care who you are, to your face, and like you can go after him. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen he's missing all the front teeth right there, and doesn't stop him. People will go at him and say whatever they want about his teeth and stuff, and he'll go right back at him. And oh man, yeah, Tweezy's he's a funny, super cool guy.
Yeah, I think a couple of years back, I don't know how long because I come across him because I think I was either still in the Marine Corps or on the way out of the Marine Corps, and I came across him, and I seen that he was a Marine as well. And I think, like, I tried to reach out to him and get him on the show, you know, just on the fact that he was a Marine like me, and I wanted to talk to him and just, you know, pick his brain and stuff, but that never happened. And then I come across you, and then it just kind of, I guess, in a way, came full circle. Cause like through you, I seen him again, and now I know that he's out and he's doing all this other stuff, and he's had some success, which I'm proud of because he's a fellow Marine like myself.
That's awesome. And yeah, well, I mean, thank you both for your service. That's a brave thing to do.
Oh shit, you doing some brave shit too. Well, nobody
way,
shooting at
yeah.
you though, but still brave shit.
Mm-hmm.
See, man, if we had a couple of y'all out there in Afghanistan, we might have won a lot quicker. Because I mean, you could have did a corkscrew around the bullet and shot somebody like that way, and like curved the bullet like some wanted shit or whatever.
Yeah, wanted. Oh yeah.
Oh shit! But hey, at the end of the day, what I like to do when I have people on here, you know, it doesn't matter the profession that they're in or the hobby that they come well known from doing. Where do you see yourself, or where do you want to be within the next 2 to 5 years?
Well, that's good. 2 to 5. So if you would have said 10, I'm like, oh shit, I don't think my body's gonna last that much longer. But you know, 2 to 5, I plan on carrying what I'm doing out as long as I can. So continuing the traveling and trying to just keep judging and help hosting and creating events and giving the up and coming generation a platform that they can make more legitimate and to kind of make these sports more legitimate, because I mean, they're still pretty underground and people see these viral videos of these people, but they don't really know who they are, or they don't know their story, and they don't see much other than maybe that one video of them. And so it's like, that's why I'm trying to kind of help them get a more substantial base by like helping create these events where they can compete and stuff and make it feel like it's more worth it to the up and coming generation, to continue on and to keep inspiring them, seeing like that I've had some success, and a lot of my peers that I'm traveling around with have had the success in doing it, and letting these kids know that like, if you're truly passionate about doing this stuff, then you can make it into a career in a way. And obviously it's easier said than done, but it can happen. And so just, I guess, next 2 to 5 years, continuing the grind on traveling a ton and going out and meeting all these kids. And I don't want to call them fans, but like all the followers and stuff on Instagram and YouTube and stuff, like going out and actually meeting them face to face and learning more about the people and helping inspire them and teach them to do what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the 2 to 5 year plan. And then after that, when the body can't handle it, that's when I'll open my own gym and just keep the grind on teaching people how to do it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, that's some admirable stuff, man. You know, paving the way for the next generation. And if you do have any skill or, you know, knowledge in anything, I mean, that's the best thing that you can do for, you know, whatever skill set that is that you're into, because I mean, you keep the thing going that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to put a pin in it right here. We're going to go ahead and wind it down. But before you go, sir, where can everybody find you on social media?
All right. Well, you guys can, if you look me up on YouTube, it's a simple Dom Lewis. I'll probably be one of the first to pop up. Instagram, Domatrick. And then same with Snapchat. You'll see more of the behind the scenes, funny, like crazy adventure stuff. That's Domatrick as well. So, yep, just search up Domatrick, Domitrick, like the name Dominic, even though that's not my name. But yeah, so if you just look up Domatrick on any of those platforms, or just Dom Lewis on YouTube, it'd be an easy way to find me.
Word. It was one more thing I had to ask you about before I got off with you.
Uh-huh.
That tag league they got. What you think about that? You know, what the motherfuckers is professionally running around playing tag in the little arena and everything with all the obstacles and shit.
Let me tell you, I oh man, I want to try that so bad now. I know my asthma won't permit it because I don't have the long-windedness to like keep running like that. but I want to try because I find that shit. I like that. Like that's crazy and it looks fun. And you could like, especially if like me and like some of the friends started doing it and flipping around while we did it. Oh man,
do it.
I think it'd be crazy. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I don't know. I just need to find some other people who want to get into it. You know, maybe that's the new 2 to 5 year plan. I might join a tag league and become a tag athlete.
Shit, I'm down with that.
There we go.
Yeah. So if you do need some tag sponsored athletes, I can do that. I would not so much want to be a participant like an athlete in the actual league, but I would like to be the spokesperson or maybe a towel boy. You know, I can just I can run out there between sets
you could be the team manager.
I'm down with that. It'd be like dodgeball.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, well, man, it's been a pleasure to speak with you and pick your brain a little bit and, you know, kind of get a little insight on how all your empire came to be and whatnot and how you jet flying, limousine riding, Eiffel Tower flipping, Amsterdam sipping.
Oh, man, that's funny.
But
Thank you so much for all of it. I mean, this has been good. It's been a good conversation.
And all right. I mean, as it always is for any guest that's come on the Random Rounds with Rob podcast, the door is always open for you to come back and, you know, promote your next thing that you're doing or just to hang out and bullshit, man. It is what it is.
All right. I like both those things, but yeah, I'm down to hang out and bullshit again.
All right.
I like that.
And that was the man, Dominique Lewis. Man, and I truly implore you all to go to his Instagram at Domitrick on Instagram and just look at the things that this man can do. And you heard the conversation that we had. You heard how he started. It's just it was something that he thought he could do, and he pursued it, and he turned a career out of something that he loved to do. Something that he probably would have done for free, but he's getting paid for it. So, I mean, that's always a plus. Man, it's just what I've been preaching and telling y'all in the past couple episodes. I told y'all at the beginning of the year that I ain't doing no motherfucking resolutions because I don't believe in that shit. You should, you know, strive to be a better person or, you know, try to come closer and closer to your goals that you set every single day rather than, you know, trying to refresh at the beginning of the year. But it seems like subliminally I have been doing it myself. I mean, I haven't verbally said, hey, this is my goal for 2019 or whatever, but, you know, subliminally I have been, you know, setting minor goals for myself and pretty much just trying to put out the positive vibes out there to you who may be listening to this podcast, that if you have something that you are interested in, go for it, man. I mean, if you have something inside of you that says that you can do a certain thing or you're just interested in a certain thing, just do it. You know, failure is just a stepping stone to success. I mean, you're not going to knock it out of the park 100% of the time, but you know, got to take those steps, got to make those leaps and bounds and flips and tucks and twists and twirls like my man Dominique been doing. So once again, check him out on Instagram at Domitrick and just follow this dude as he globe trots around the world, jet flying, limousine ride. I don't know why I was doing that shit. Ric Flair just popped into my head because just to see this dude just travel all over the world doing something that he loves, cutting flips in this motherfucker, as we used to say when I was a young man. He was cutting flips, man. What the hell you do? You're cutting flips. You're cutting flips. Think about that, man. We're going outside, we're gonna cut some flips, dogs. Cut some flips. Anyway, I'm about to cut the fuck up out of here. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at itsbrob. That's ITSBROB. If you want to talk professional wrestling and any other general shenanigans, that's the place you do it. You can follow this show on Twitter at 3R Show. Also on Instagram, you can follow this show. Just look for the Random Rounds with Rob, because at 3R Show is taken by some punk motherfucker that don't even use his account or post any pictures or do anything productive with the shit. You can go to randomrobcast.com to where you can find all many different ways and manner of things to support this show and the Real Robinsons and freaking Wrestling is Trash and just all the things. February 28th, end of the month, end of February. The merchandise provider that I had for wehavemerch.com, the guy that posts all my stuff, my hats and all the cool items that I was able to put out for people to purchase, he is closing down shop. He is closing his business and whatnot. So you have until February 28th to purchase some items from wehavemerch.com. Since he's closing, I'm guessing I can hook you up with some discounts. I mean, my shit was already cheap anyway, but nobody still bought the shit except for Brandon McIntyre, Nick Lovers, and, a couple other people that hit me up. But just hit me up if you are interested. I'm for real. If you hit me up, DM me, however you want to do it. If you are interested in buying some merchandise before the shop closes down, I'll try to do as best as I can to get you a discount, like deeper discount, like some cheap shit, like a couple of dollars, maybe single digits, depending on how a man feeling. He closing down shop. He ain't gonna be selling shit no more. So, I mean, he probably trying to liquidate all this shit. So you can probably get some cheap gear here pretty soon. I was just trying to get a Waterfall Mania hat and shirt and a Waterfall Wrestling is Trash hat and shirt out real quick before he shut all that shit down, and I had to go find another provider. Man, this dude, he was doing some good business. He made the shit just the way I liked it, and I'm sad to see him close down. He has personal reasons, I don't know why, but he made some good shit, and I'm just sad to see him go. Now I gotta find another plug. Gotta find another connect, goddammit. I still have shit on Spread Tees and Represent and all that stuff, but they don't pay too much in the profit department. And, I don't know. I just like this dude shit, and now he going away. But anyway, get it while you can, motherfuckers. You can also be a patron, which you can find links to that on randomrobcast.com. I'm debating on some things or whatever. It'll affect the patrons, not so much because it'll just be a migration to something else. I've been using the patron thing through Podbean. That's my podcast provider. And I was thinking about moving over to patreon.com to continue it over there, because just from hearing other people using Patreon and everything, there's a couple of more features that I could do over there within the service that I can't do with my current Patreon provider. So if anybody is using patreon.com and you're satisfied with it, you can give me some insight. I would very much appreciate that. Hit me in the DM, slide in ever so gently. And that's it, man. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode with Josiah Williams. He's the guy behind the Wrestling Flow YouTube and Instagram. And also previous week with Sir John Lee. And I hope you're enjoying his new single, The City. That's out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and all those other places. I don't know why I said Stitcher. That's for podcasting and shit. But check both of those talented gentlemen out, and I'm going to keep throwing it out there into the universe that I want them to collaborate on some shit. Somebody make the beat, somebody lays the track, or they both flowing on some shit. That's all I really want. But once again, thank you for tuning in to the Random Rums with Rob podcast. Check out all the other things on randomrobcast.com, and I'll see you next time.